I am so excited to be here today with Kathryn. Kathryn is a florist and co-owner with her husband, Doug, of a flower shop in Park City called Flowers by You, Park City Floral Bar, where customers make their own flower arrangements and terrariums. Since COVID, she has moved to a new location and now specializes in flower subscriptions to private residences and local businesses. She also works for several hotels in the area to provide their residents and hotel guests with flowers upon arrival. She also offers workshops on floral arranging wreaths and terrariums and will resume these once COVID moves on. Thank you so much, Kathryn, for being here today.
Great. Thank you, Francesca, for having me. This is really an honor. And I'm just, I can't wait to dive into all this.
So Kathryn is our student spotlight of this series. She came to the Hotel Florist Profit Method, what was it, back in January? Maybe
it was in
2 months
January.
ago?
hmm
And what if you could sum it up in one sentence, what would your experience, how would you define your experience so far?
With your program, and trust me, I mean, this was the best thing that has ever happened to me as a florist, and this is unsolicited. I mean, I just can't believe the timing, because I was approached by a hotel, and then I was on a blog, whatever, anyways, and someone had mentioned your course, and your course was a game changer for me as a florist. And I really, anyone out there listening, I hope that you would give this some consideration. If you're looking for a different avenue in floristry, this course helped me every step of the way, and it continues. So I cannot thank you enough, Francesca, for putting this together.
Thank you, Kathryn. I am very humbled, and I did not pay her to say any of this.
I just, the course is amazing. It just, you really did your homework, and everything is just laid out for you. It's just like it's like a recipe. You can just go back to the course, and it's just wonderful. So thank you.
For someone listening, I know that there's a lot of different florists that are in different phases of their business, but they all want the same thing. They all want consistent income. They want the opportunity to land hotel partnerships. What to you are like the 3 biggest takeaways that you have gotten from the course so far?
One of them is the contract. That is very important. The contract that you helped us with, I would have never, there's so much stuff in there that I never knew, like artistic release, things about like how you want to be paid, when you want to get paid, all those types. That alone is worth the course. Of course, the floral guide, the flower guide that you put together, which flowers last the longest. I think that was super very helpful. And then just your Facebook, like we have access to you, and so and to others in the group, and to be able to, we're all in different stages in the hotel business, and it's just great to hear newbies like me and people that have been for a long time. So those would be my top 3.
That's awesome. And I was trying to think, like, what would I have wanted when I first started? And I really wanted to create a community of florists that come together, that can share. And I mean, even recently, like we were on our coaching call earlier this week, and we realized that 2 florists in the Hotel Florist Profit Method both are serving Waldorf Astoria accounts. So now you can like basically swap notes, maybe what issues you're coming across, maybe tidbits of information that could help the other florists. And so I love the community that's slowly being formed, especially in that Facebook group, because I do find that it's a really valuable resource just to be able to brainstorm and like brain dump and get people's feedback. So I'm so excited that you're part of the program. I want to know, you were approached by the hotels and you've started this course. Why are flowers in the hotel lobby so important? Like, what have you learned about this concept?
In your course, we talk about the arrival experience, and I never knew that terminology, but let's just pretend we're like, you're going on this fantastic vacation, and it's a luxury vacation, and you're all excited, and you get off the plane, you get out of the car, you walk in the lobby, and there's these gorgeous flowers. I mean, it just creates excitement. It creates beauty. It makes you feel like welcome. It makes you feel like the hotel was thoughtful. Attention to detail. If they're going to have flowers when you walk in and flowers when you check in, you can only imagine that every other avenue you would expect would follow through. So I really think flowers for the hotel are so important, especially luxury hotels. And so yesterday, actually, I did a post. I did an installation yesterday. So I did it before without the flowers on the tables, and then I did one after. And so it kind of just, it shows, it just speaks for itself. So,
I used to always say, and I still believe it, but flowers transform space. And
yeah.
if you pick up any, interior design magazine, or even like a magazine that sells furniture, and you put your finger, your thumb specifically, over that table or that chair or whatever it is, there's always a plant in the space. So if you just put let's say you have a table and you have a beautiful floral arrangement on it, and you put your finger over that floral arrangement in the image, it will completely transform the feel of what the room is trying to convey. So the biggest thing when it comes to flowers in the hotel lobby, like you said, they set the arrival experience, they set the expectations of
Yeah.
the overall experience with the brand, with the hotel, with their stay, if it's going to be memorable or not. And I also spoke recently to a hotel owner, and he brought up how emotional it is.
Oh,
It's something that either people have in their home or they aspire to have in their home, and it hits all five senses. You can see it, you can smell it, you can touch it. And so I just think this is amazing that we have the power to create in such incredible spaces.
it's true. I mean, we were installing the other day, and I mean, these people are like, "Oh, look at the flowers! Can we take a picture in front of it?" So, they're posting. I'm at the wall of Park City, and they're standing behind. The flowers are behind them. It just creates this excitement and emotion. I mean, that is so. I didn't even think about that. That's great. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
And
Hmm.
especially, social media, I always say, like, your flowers are now part of your advertising budget, because your guests are coming in, or maybe they're not even guests of the hotel, but they love to come in just to see the flowers. Like the Georges Cinq, the Four Seasons in Paris, it is on the
Wow.
top like 5 things to do in Paris to go and see the flowers. That
Oh,
is
for
like just
sure.
like to go see the Eiffel Tower. And so
Yes.
imagine all the additional revenue that the hotel gets, all the additional exposure through social media, through Instagram. And now it's taken flowers to a whole nother level. So I can tell you there's a lot of reasons why hotel flowers in the lobby are so important.
Absolutely. Yeah. Concur.
How would you say you have grown as a florist? I mean, you've obviously survived 2020. We're now in 2021. Kind of what are your biggest takeaways, and how have you grown as a florist?
Oh boy, that's a great question. That's a great question. So I would say, and this is, um, if you're a florist, you get this. I've learned not to panic so quickly. So, you may have this big thing that you're going to have, but your flowers don't show up, or your vases don't show up, or half your flowers show up, or half of them are not is what you want. And so when I first started, oh my gosh, I couldn't sleep the night before. I'd panic and all that kind of stuff. So I've really learned to look at the big picture, and just if you're panic, you can't think outside the box, and you can't come up with another solution. So, this is a tough business. I mean, it's a lot of work. It's early hours. It's heavy lifting. It's planning. It's forecasting. It's all these things at once. And so you really learn how to figure out really what's important, and come up with a solution. And you can't do it if you're panicked all the time. So I figured that out. And the other thing I've learned, and I don't know, someone made this quote, and I don't know what it is, but it says, "I can say no as gently and as lovingly as I can say yes." And so
Oh,
I've
that's good.
learned, like, I used to take everything and do everything, and I'm decided, no, I don't want to do that, or I don't, I can say no nicely, or whatever. So I think those two things, not to panic so much, and I can say no. I can say
Yeah.
no.
Or
Mhm.
like if people still struggle with saying no, you can say not right now. Like
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
been really hard things that I've had to turn down, especially recently. And as much as I want to say yes, I know it doesn't serve the bigger picture. And so I just say not right now, because
Yeah,
it still
that's
leaves the
good.
door open, but I'm also giving myself the way out. So
I
I think
love
that's
that.
that's amazing. Those are two really hard lessons. I remember the first time that my flowers didn't come in for an install, and I'm standing there with no flowers, panicked. And you can't really whip out like 500 carnations or like 1,000 stems of gladiola out of the local wholesaler. And so that's one of the reasons in the course I actually do a shock the cooler, because I'm
Yep.
like, this will happen at some point, and it doesn't mean that you're a failure and you should quit and everything is bad. It just is. It just is. But when it
Yep.
happens, this is what you can look for. Go into your cooler. These are like the 3 staple things that you can pull together, and you can do this really simple design. Because I feel like when we have tools in our toolbox, we become more confident as designers. And as confident designers, we become more confident as business men and women. So I think that it's so important that you mentioned that. And it's just like, don't panic.
Yeah, and I want to backstroke too. The other thing I learned so much about your course is confidence. It gave me the confidence to go through, because like I had all the tools. I can go back, I can go online, I can take a look, and then I can reply to an email or whatever. So yeah, for
And
sure.
confidence is number one, because you have the design down, you have the business down. It's literally like we're approaching new people, where you're evolving and growing as a florist and what you're offering. And so it's only natural that you don't have all the tips and tricks. But if you've got like the list of questions to ask on your walkthrough, then you know you're going to look educated, informed. You're going to ask the right things. The hotel is going to appreciate that. You're going to come off as an expert. And then you do that 2 or 3 more times, and then you naturally already know the questions to ask. So I'm really happy this course gave you confidence.
Oh, it did, for sure.
We can always use an extra dose of confidence.
Yes, 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 yes.
So Kathryn, what are your goals in 2021?
Okay, so that's a great question. So since this course and since all this happened, so right now I have a retail shop. I started off as a floral bar, and I still will do that after COVID. So you can come and make your own arrangements and everything like that, and that's great and everything. But I really love this hotel stuff. So you have to pull me out of the hotel or pull me out of my shop, because like I'll stage all the vases and everything. So one of my biggest goals for 2021 is I'd like to have I just want to have 2 hotels, so that like Monday through Wednesday, maybe Monday through Thursday, even, that I just work on hotels. I shop, I prep, I design, I just focus on that. Not worrying about someone coming in the store and everything like that. And then maybe still keep my hand in retail for 2 days a week. So give me a little balance, because I love my customers. I have repeat customers. I have Floral Friday for all our locals. They come in, they pick up the bouquets, and we chat and have fun. So I don't want to miss that. But I just love working, like doing big installations, and I just adore it. So if I could get 2 to 3, 1 to 2 this year, and then just be retail 2 days a week, that I would be so happy. That's my goal.
I have goosebumps. I feel like I have converted you over to the dark side.
I told my husband this morning, I woke up, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just love, like, I didn't want to leave the hotel yesterday. Like, oh, let's just move the feet, like, let's do this, let's do that, So I'm very fortunate, because my husband and maybe your husband helps you too, but my husband helps me a lot. And so
yeah, I think that's a florist thing. Like if you're married to a florist, you are just naturally going to become part of their business.
Exactly. So, and he's great. Like we went to floral design school together. He's fabulous. So he's got a great eye, and like I'm 5 foot tall on a good day. He's 6'5". So he can reach things and do things that I can't, and he sees things in a different perspective. So I think together we work really well. So
that's awesome. I love working with hotels, and it is like you described, it's you become euphoric, because you're like in this atmosphere where people are traveling, they're visiting, they're excited, they've got positive energy. You're creating something, you're transforming space. It's the first thing that people see when they walk in. You're instantly like, oh wow, that's amazing, are these real, can I take a photo? And you have creative freedom. And the best part is, you're going to get paid, and you don't really have to worry about that. You just worry about the design, you worry about serving your client best as possible. You get the best floral deals, the best quality of flowers. Like all of a sudden your focus changes, what your priorities change, and I dare to say things become easier.
It really does. My stress level has went, there's a lot of the stuff behind the scenes, as you know, but it's so predictable. Unlike retail is unpredictable. So that's why I love hotel work. And it really, my stress level has gone down, which has opened my mind and my creativity, and I'm just more relaxed. So yeah, for sure.
And I want to say, excited about your business, excited for showing up in your business.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. Like, I mean, I'm already working on next week's design. Like, I just can't wait.
I was talking earlier to Beth O'Reilly, actually, and we were talking about batching, and I'm like, I just love to sit down and just batch like all my designs, like 5 designs. I know it's done. I order it, and then all I have to do is look forward to installing it. And it's awesome. It's just a completely way of doing business in our floral industry that not a lot of people talk about. And for me, it was a game changer. So I'm trying to tell as many people about it as possible, because who doesn't want a less stressful life?
Yeah, it's great. It's wonderful. So yeah, I can't be happier.
Kathryn, what tips would you give someone who is new to all this? They've just learned about hotels. They're like, oh, well, this sounds kind of interesting. What would be your advice to them to get started?
The first thing what I would do is I live in a resort town, and it's an affluential resort town. So we have lots of luxury. We have the Montage, St. Regis, Waldorf Astoria, stuff like that. I would just visit those. I used to go every week, and I would visit the lobbies and just see the different styles and just see just to become aware of what you could be potentially asked to do. And then the other thing, of course, is sign up for this course. Again, this is unsolicited, but I'm telling you, it's a game changer because there's so much you don't know about, like the right questions. When you go on let's say you finally get to the right person, and that's part of the course. They teach you who you need to, get in touch with and how to get to that person, the proper ways. And so, but let's say you finally get an appointment, the questions to ask. And so that there's Francesca has these questions that you ask. Um, and when I went on my walkthrough with the hotel here in Park City, they were kind of like impressed. They're like, wow, nobody's ever asked me those questions before. That's so thoughtful, like, and stuff like that. So I would definitely sign up for the course. I would do walkthroughs, and I'm trying to think what else. Those are the two big ones for sure.
I think the questions, I mean, when we think about the hospitality industry, just like the floral industry, it's all about relationships and it's all about connecting with them. And we all have heard of know, like, trust, but they can know you and like you. But the part where they start to trust you is by the questions that you ask, because it's the right questions to ask. It shows them that you care, even down to, I think there's a question of, are your guests sensitive to smell? How can we best serve you during these busy periods, where you're saying, hey, I'm not only a vendor, but I'm actually an extension of your team, and I want you to be as supported as possible. And you communicate all of this through the questions that you ask in that first walkthrough. And I believe that's really what sets you apart from anybody else that they may be considering.
That's so true, because that I did ask that is one of the questions that's in your questions to ask section of the course. And I asked, are you or the manager, or has any of your hotel guests ever said anything about being, allergic to fragrance or certain types of flowers, or there's certain things we should avoid? And that's when they stop. They're like, wow, we ask that in our restaurant, but we don't ask that for the flowers. And so, like, if someone has a gluten allergy or a dairy allergy, and they were impressed that that was so thoughtful to think and to ask that question. So yeah, for sure.
Especially if you consider like luxury hotels, their whole job is to take care of their guests. But who's
Mhm.
taking care of them?
Yeah.
And so just by thinking of these things, thinking for them, being one step ahead, they naturally will start to trust you and think, well, this person is obviously an expert. This person has our best interest at heart. We trust this person. And I think that's really what gives someone like you a creative edge when you're bidding on something or your proposal, or even overpricing. Maybe it's outside their budget, but they're trying to think, how can they make it work? Maybe they'll do a phase where it's lower on some months and higher on others, and do an average. So there's so many different ways to negotiate, and this is one of them, is just literally asking the right question. So I'm so
Yeah.
happy you gave that feedback. What's been your biggest surprise, either in the course or working with hotels? What's been like your biggest, like, I didn't realize that, or this is amazing, like kind of like an aha moment for you so far on your journey?
Outside of, like, I did not expect to love it. I totally fell in love. Like, I just love, like, when I first, like, I used to do walkthroughs. And so when I saw that big lobby table, I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? But so the first thing is that I just fell in love with it. I thought I'd like it. I didn't know what I really thought would be great was, oh, I'm going to get a contract, and it's going to be predictable and it's steady income. I did not expect to fall in love with it as much as I did. I just love it. The other thing that I learned, maybe on the other side, is like sometimes, and again, if someone's listening, some, hotel management and so forth, they're very busy. They have wear different hats all the time. You just got to be a little bit patient. If they don't respond as quickly as much as you want, and that at first was like, oh my gosh, like, they're not listening to me, or they're not responding back, what's going on? Just be patient and just kind of put yourself in their shoes, And I learned that a lot through you, just our discussions, Francesca, and just listening to the other people in our Facebook group. So, yeah, I want them to move faster, but it just seems like it's industry wide on average. So just, that was, I would thought they would have like just immediately responded, and they don't. And that's
Yeah.
just part of it.
You kind of have to just meet them where they are.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they don't know where they are. They've either been given the task or it's on their to-do list. But as an owner I recently interviewed, he said flowers for the hotel is like the tail of a dog. He's like, actually, it's the tip of the tail of the dog as far as like the list of priorities. We
Yeah.
need it, but like, we're not going to really focus on it. And so we have to be patient. There's a whole mindset module inside the course that talks about, data over drama, because it's
Yeah.
so easy to get caught up in, well, they didn't call me back. I didn't get chosen. What did I do wrong? That's all
Mhm.
drama though. And if we let that dictate the way that we operate our business, then we're never going to be successful or have the accounts that we'd really like to have. Instead, you're like, okay, I know it's a Monday morning. They probably have their ops meeting. I'm going to follow up again in a couple of days. Last time I sent an email, this time I'm going to pick up the phone. And then all of a sudden you have data to go by that can dictate like, what direction to go in, which means
That's
that you're going to
true.
be more successcul.
No, that's so true. That's so true. Data over drama. And that, I used to be drama, but I've learned a lot. And you have to if you're going to be, do this. So,
Before I
yeah.
let you go, Kathryn, would you like to share anything else? Maybe your biggest takeaway? I love that your goals. So now we just need to get you one more hotel account for this year, which is totally doable. But would
Yeah.
you like to share anything else?
Oh boy. I just would like, especially to you florists out there that are listening, like, if you're burned out and you just want to do something else, I would really consider hotel in going into the hotel floristry business. And it's a great model. Like it's steady, it's predictable. You get to be creative. So I would like to encourage anyone that's just kind of on the fence, or maybe just want to try it or something like that. Maybe you just start in their restaurant once the restaurants are open, or I don't know, or the spa and whatever. I'm not sure how, that will work. But anyways, I would just like to encourage someone, because it has changed my business model as a florist. And I was just kind of getting, I don't want to say burned out, but it was just like I was always just waiting for the phone to ring, and this has really changed my life. I just cannot tell you how more relaxed I am. So I really encourage you to explore it.
Wow, you actually made me teary-eyed.
Mm.
I
Oh,
created this course last year because I saw that hotels could be served better and florists could do that by being educated. And there was such
yeah,
a big gap in the hospitality industry on the expectations of florists and on the floral industry on how to serve hospitality clients. And I took the opportunity of COVID and having extra time of doing this course because I truly believe it can change people's businesses, which change their lives, even how
yeah,
their quality of life, how they show up every day, because it changed mine. And for a while it was like, it's so niche, it's not cool or sexy like weddings and events, but I was like, it's amazing. I love the hospitality industry. So it just gives me goosebumps, makes me a little teary-eyed to hear how happy and how much this has brought you joy. So thank
it
you for
truly, I mean,
sharing
I
that.
can't say enough. Like, even after I did my install yesterday, I was like, I had energy to go for a run. I mean, this, and I would have never, like, after a day, at the shop, I'm cleaning buckets and doing the whole thing. And there's nothing wrong with all that. But I want to say this has really, for me personally, has changed my life. I have, my quality is better. I sleep better. I'm nicer to my husband and everything. So anyways, but yeah, so I just cannot thank you enough. I really have been enjoying this so much.
Thank you, Kathryn. And just for anyone listening, I wanted to share a little bit about how we started chatting because it was very sudden in the sense that I got a message from Kathryn. She was like, I have to bid on a hotel. I want to book a one-on-one. And I was like, look, an hour of my time is not going to help you through the process. I was like, I know this is going to sound cliche. I was like, watch the masterclass. If you feel like you have value, drop into the course. You have either an interest-free payment plan, you can pay in full and get 2 months free, and just start learning, start digging in. You have access to everything you're going to need at every single stage. And I think we had like our group coaching call like the
Yeah.
following week. And I was like, and we can talk about everything that happened and strategize. And you're like, I'm going to do it. And so you really took a leap of faith. And I just want to thank you for believing in me and believing in the Hotel Florist Profit Method, because that is literally how I operate.
No, it does. And like, again, it was awesome. I'm so happy. I really am. So,
Thanks, Kathryn.
yay.
Well, before we go, we've talked shop. I have to ask you one of my favorite questions, which is, if animals could talk, which one would be the rudest?
Oh, I know what I'm going to say, but I think you have 3 cats.
It's fine. You're not the only one that said
I'm
cats.
sorry. I know I'm going to say cats because
They are rude.
they just look at you sometimes and just walk away, or they roll their eyes. You could just almost see what they're saying. I mean, they're gorgeous, they're beautiful, but they can be persnickety. So I'm going to say a cat.
I completely agree. I mean, I have 3 Siamese cats, so they
Oh,
take rude to a whole nother level.
I guess that's what makes them so fun. So,
Yeah. Kathryn, where can people find you?
so my website is www.flowersbyyou.net. And then I have an Instagram. My Instagram, I have to look it up real good, is sorry, I should have known this. Flowers by You.
Flowers by You, Park City.
Yeah, Flowers by You, Park City. Yep. So, and I'm on
Awesome.
Facebook too. Yep. So, yep.
And I love that you have a floral bar. I actually, fun fact, when I moved from Dubai to Houston, I needed to have something to market myself that was different. And so I started something called the Flower Bar. And it was every Saturday, and I sold out the bar. And it was really twofold for me. It was for marketing purposes, but it was also to learn the different types of flowers, how much they cost, what colors they came in, how long they lasted. So I'd always tuck one stem away to just learn about how the flower evolved over its lifespan. And it actually turned into very lucrative, something I sold on to events. Like Neiman Marcus started hiring out the floral bar, Macy's started hiring out the floral bar in their stores, obviously pre-COVID, but in their stores to support a fragrance launch that they had or something that they wanted to sell. And so anyone thinking about floral bars or flower bars, I think they're an amazing way to get started. And I love that you have one weekly.
Yes, yes. So yeah, and once COVID goes, then I love doing workshops. That's the other thing I'm really passionate about. So I can't wait to start doing that. It's our shop's too small to have too many people in. So, but once we can, or do them outside, I can't wait to do that too. So
yeah. Well, we're all waiting for the post-COVID days, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Kathryn, thank you so much for being on the show with us.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure. Thanks, Francesca.